So why is my Jeep Wrangler 392 back in the shop again? And why was Project Prickly Pear out of commission for 3 weeks? And what are some of the other really cool, exciting modifications we're going to be doing to our other vehicles? Well, those things and more we're going to talk about on this episode of Coffee One Take. Stay tuned. Welcome TrailRecon, I'm Brad, and it has been a while since I've grabbed a cup of coffee and hung out with you guys in the garage. We have just been on the road a lot these last few months on some awesome adventures, but there's a lot going on, some successes and some challenges with all of our vehicles. And I thought today would be a great day to just sit down and catch you guys up on everything that's going on and about to happen. But before we do that, just a couple of housekeeping things. I want to let everybody know that Regina and I will be at Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, Arizona. It is the 19th to the 21st of May, and we're really excited. It's one of our favorite events of the year, and we will be walking around, checking everything out. And if you see us at the event, please come up and say hello. I'd love to shake your hand, and thank you for following along on the channel. We'll also be hanging out at the TrailRecon.com booth, where we'll have some good gear for sale. We'll be at the Casey Highlights booth, where we're going to be giving some talks, and I think we're going to be judging a food cook-off or something, so I'm excited about that. Plus, Jordan's Tacoma will be at the four-wheel camper booth, so if you're interested in checking out his Tacoma and the Project M and the few things that he's done too, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. You can go check out his truck while we're there. Also, very exciting is we're going to be doing the second annual TrailRecon Summit in Texas again this year. If you want to save the dates, it's October 4th through the 8th. And we will be making some announcements here soon on our social media, so pay attention on Facebook and Instagram. We'll let you know when it officially launches and you can sign up. We would love to have you guys out there. It's an awesome, awesome event. We were just in Texas a little while ago, and it's kind of why the 392 is in the shop. So let's just dive into that. We've got a lot to talk about. So it has been 1 year now officially that I have had the 2022 Jeep Wrangler 392. And I have said for the longest time, it's the favorite vehicle I've ever owned. And I've owned some really cool cars over the years, but I just love driving that thing. It's all that raw horsepower, the capability on the trail. It's an incredible vehicle. And I have over 35,000 miles on that thing in 1 year. We have been to a lot of places with that, and mostly towing the trailer, a lot of off-road, but just getting to places, we've put a lot of miles on it. And there's been some pros and cons with owning the 392, but it is in the shop right now as we speak, because when I was in Texas, we were out there for a small event, and we were doing the TrailRecon Challenge at the Maris Adventure Park. And we were first day with the group, a group of about 12 vehicles, great folks that were out there. And the first trail of the day, we're out there having a good time. I'm leading and going up this really steep climb. It's kind of loose, it's a little rutted out, but I've been up it many times before. And I get about halfway up, and all of a sudden I'm spinning tires and I'm not going anywhere. And I'm like, what is going on? And I get a notification on the dash, service four-wheel drive system. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And so I couldn't make it up. And so I'm like, all right, well, this is a 392. I've got horsepower and 37-inch tires. So I just backed down and gunned it again and tried to get up there. And halfway up, I'm spinning tires, and I'm working it. I'm trying to get things to bite and catch, and the front tires are just not going anywhere. And so after 2 unsuccessful attempts, I backed all the way down. Regina was behind me in her little yellow two-door, which we'll also talk about later. She crawled right up it, got to the top, and I actually had to winch off of her to get to the top because I had no four-wheel drive. Crazy thing is that everybody else in the group, including a gentleman who had a 2015 or 2016 Jeep Wrangler JK Sport on street tires, crawled right up it because he had four-wheel drive. It just goes to show you how important four-wheel drive is. And for whatever reason, the 392, I couldn't get it to go in four-wheel drive. It would go into four low, but just the rear tires. You could feel the gearing was now in four low, but I could not get those front tires to work. So I ended up parking it for the rest of the event, and I rode shotgun with Regina. Fast forward to just a couple days ago, I'm here back home. I take it over to my good buddy Jerry at Shift Auto Works and say, man, can we do, read a code and see what's going on? And he thought originally that it was probably this little sensor that's at the top of the transfer case was bad. That wasn't the case. Something important to talk about before I tell you what's wrong with it specifically is the transfer case for the 392 is different than your standard transfer case on a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon or even the Gladiator. The 392 has all-wheel drive system, and so there is a clutch pack system that's got some sensors on it. So there's some electronics and some clutches to engage it. It's not like having gears and a chain like you would with a really robust transfer case. You're kind of relying on these clutches and these electric sensors to do their job. And well, when I took it to Jerry, he dropped it off at the dealership. They just drained the oil from the transfer case, and it was apparent that those clutches were fried. They were just toast. And so the transfer case is bad after 35,000 miles. Now, it's probably bad because I'm very hard on my vehicles, plus there's a lot of towing involved. Now, I've never exceeded the tow rating, but we're towing long distances, we're towing off-road, we're towing through some obstacles, and so I imagine that puts added stress on that clutch system. But it's kind of frustrating that was a point of failure, and really it kind of left me hanging out on the trail. And so they're going to actually, we're going to try to order some parts for the transfer case, and there are no parts available. So they were able to find one transfer case in the region, and they're just going to swap it out. It's all covered under warranty, but they're going to swap out the transfer case. I'll have a new transfer case, but the question is, the way I wheel, the way I tow, am I going to have the same problem in another, 35, 40,000 miles? I don't know. It's a little concerning. I mentioned that I love the 392. But now that's the third time that I've had kind of a big challenge with it. The first problem that I had with it was the locker sensor went bad, and that's a common problem just across Jeep Wranglers and Gladiators, so that's not a big deal. It was an easy replacement once we got the part. Still having some issues from time to time with low fuel, so if I'm at a quarter tank and I'm on a steep decline out on the trail, it will kill power. And I know a couple other people that's had a problem with. Those things were things that, I've kind of just shrugged off and just kept on going, but this is a little bit bigger issue. I'm a little worried about the transfer case. So I don't know what that means. For me, the 392, let's be honest, is not a practical vehicle. It's a fun vehicle to drive. It's raw. It tows the trailer with no problems. Like, it doesn't even know it's back there. You've got all the power for days on road and off road. But I need reliability when I'm off the grid, and I worry that maybe this is not the practical vehicle that I need it to be. I've had lots of great off-road vehicles. The JK has never let me down like this. I've had the Gladiator in the past. That was an incredible vehicle. I've had several other Jeeps that were awesome vehicles. I love the 392, but I am, in my head right now, the wheels are turning about, what's the future hold for it. I love it, but I gotta make some practical decisions. I'm not making any right now, but we'll be talking more about that, I think, in the near future. But I'm excited to get it fixed and at least have four-wheel drive and get it back on the trail because we have a few trips coming up. So that's what's going on with the 392. Okay, let's talk about Project Prickly Pear, my 1974 Jeep Cherokee, which has been a lot of fun and a lot of headaches along the way. And so we recently did the lift. Jerry over at Shift Auto Works and his guys helped me out with that. We did a whole lot of stuff to it, put the 33-inch tires on it, and then I was gone quite a bit, so I didn't really get a lot of opportunities to drive it. And when I came home, this was last month, I was driving it, I was kind of using it as a daily. I was running a store, running a couple errands, And I was coming home, and all of a sudden there is all this smoke just coming off the back, and I'm like, holy cow, I think I'm on fire. I pull over, no flames, but you could see that the transmission fluid was coming up through the dipstick, and it was dripping down, a lot of it, onto the manifold, and then it was causing a lot of smoke. So it looked like I was just on fire going down the road. So I was able to drive home. I was actually driving and shifting fine until the next day, until it wasn't. And so I pulled it out of the garage because it had leaked a ton of transmission fluid in the garage. And I went to back it out of the garage, and it didn't want to go anywhere. It was done. The transmission was toast. And so I had it towed over to Shift Auto Works, and Jerry and his crew, man, they work their magic. So the transmission has been completely rebuilt, and it looks brand new. I think they went through and sandblasted the whole thing because it looks like a brand new transmission under there, and it drives perfect. Also, just went ahead and did the transfer case as well, so that has been completely rebuilt. Again, it looks brand new under there. I do have to get a new low-range cable because the cable snapped, so I found a place that I think I can get that from, and so right now everything works. I just can't put it in low range, and so we need to fix that here with that new cable. And then we put some new 1310 double cardan drive shafts in there, and so remember I was having a lot of vibration. There's still just a hint of vibration, but all that it has really fixed things, and it drives really, really, really good. So except for, rebuilding the axles, man, the drivetrain on Project Prickly Pear, it's pretty good right now. It drives really good. In fact, I'm almost tempted to take it off-road this coming weekend. I might just wait just a little bit. There's a few more things that I want to address before I do it, but man, I got the itch. But right now, I think I'm going to rip out the headliner and the interior. The headliner is just coming apart. I mean, you literally drive down the road, and it's just raining like old cardboard and rust and stuff. It's just everywhere. And so that needs to come out, because if I go take it off-road, it's just going to be 10 times worse. But for whatever reason, I love this Jeep, and we got a lot more to do on it, and it's going to be out on the trails soon. I keep saying that. Like every time I turn the camera on and we're talking about Project Prickly Pear, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be on the trails here soon. One of these days. Maybe this weekend. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about Wallace, the 2015 Jeep Wrangler JK, the Jeep that started it all for me here on the channel. Mr. Reliable, the Jeep that has taken me on so many incredible adventures, and I have so many memories with. I love that vehicle. It's a piece of me. There's a lot of emotion associated with that vehicle. And we just did a couple of big trips with it. I said we, it was just me. I went to Arizona and was out there with the Center Force crew, and we were out in the Kofa Wilderness, out on the Bradshaw trails. And I'll tell you, the JK just performed so well out there. The drive on the road, on the trail, not a single complaint. Then we came home. I was only home for a few days, and then Regina and I turned around and went straight to Moab for Easter Jeep Safari. And we put it through the ringer out there. We hit some good difficult trails. Regina got some seat time in the JK, and again, that's a long drive for us to Moab. It's 2 days. I think, was it just under 700 miles one way, and then spending 5 or 6 days out on the trail, getting after it, having a good time. The JK. It's really been the most reliable vehicle, off-road vehicle that I've ever owned. It's had its quirks and it's had its challenges, but it's never left me stranded on the trail. Now, there's a couple things that we're going to be doing with it here in the very near future. I have a beefier track bar. I have a beefier track bar that I'm going to replace out just to give it a little more strength. I mean, we were running those 39s and the beadlocks that are kind of heavy with a pretty good offset. So I'm going to upgrade that. And then the end of the drag link is showing a little bit of wear, and so I bought a new end replacement. So I'm going to do that. But very exciting is, I can't tell you all the details yet, but I'll just let you know that I'm working with MagnaFlow. We're going to be doing a very special project on the exhaust system for the JK. I'm super excited about this project. It's going to be pretty cool, and I'm definitely going to take you guys along as we're going through it. It's going to be pretty neat. So that's what's going on with the JK. Did I mention I love that vehicle? That's the one vehicle that it's not going anywhere, guys. It's going to be here for the long term. Okay, let's talk about another very reliable vehicle in the family, and that's Regina's little two-door. So that's a 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. And she has been driving the heck out of that thing lately. She's really having fun on the trail. She was insistent she wanted to take it to Moab for Easter Jeep Safari, and she got to drive it out there and just have a great time. And she was having fun in there. And we took her on not crazy trails, but she was getting after it. And then she drove it to Texas. Because thankfully she drove it to Texas because I was riding shotgun with her. But she wanted to drive the TrailRecon Challenge, which she did all by herself. I rode shotgun the entire way. Spotted her through a couple things, but man, she navigated the TrailRecon Challenge no problems. And that little Jeep just goes. You know, sometimes the shorter wheelbase is kind of a it's not the best if you're coming down a steep ledge, and so she feels a little uncomfortable there. But when you're, tight and technical stuff, man, that two-door just does it with ease. And so we're going to do a few things to it. She wants to put 37s on there. I may have pressured her over the years, but I really kind of let off on it. She wants to put some bigger tires on it. Putting 37s on there means we need to start really focusing on some other things, and it's probably time we start doing that anyway. So, some chromoly axle shafts. Maybe some aftermarket drive shafts, just beefing up some of the things underneath there. I think clearance-wise we'll be okay with the current lift she has. Well, we'll see. We may have to make some minor changes to it. But that's the plan for wheels. And then we're going to do an R-Tech full aluminum belly skid. I already have it. It's just a matter of getting it installed. It's something we want to turn the camera on for and show you guys. It should be pretty cool, and that's going to give her a lot of protection. So when we go hit some harder trails, one, you got all that protection and not have to worry about hitting an oil pan or anything like that. And so that's what's going on with that. I don't think there's anything else for the JL that's happening, but you're going to see a lot more of her driving that on the trails here. She's talked about wanting to do more Jeep Badge of Honor trails. So I think we might do that. Could have fun. She's done Gold Mountain and a few others, but I think there's some locally that we can go have some fun on. So that's the plan for that. Okay, my son Jordan's 2015 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. So Jordan is still active duty military, and he's kind of going back and forth on whether he's going to re-enlist or he's going to get out. And I think anybody that's active duty military, I know I did, goes through that cycle of, should I get out? Should I stay in? And honestly, I'm proud of him either way. He served honorably, and whether he chooses to get out and go to school or get a job or stay in and continue to serve is really on him. But because he's still active duty, he has been very busy. He's been out in the field with the Marines a lot. He's a Navy corpsman attached to the Marines, and they have been not deployed, but out in the field doing training and doing ops a lot lately. And so we haven't done a lot of work on it. Plus, I've been gone, so that's been part of the problem. But they've been out using it. He's gone out with his brother. He's taken his girlfriend and her dog out a couple times and camping in it and just getting to know it. And I think that's the important piece with that Tacoma is it would be easy to just, start throwing wheels and tires and suspension at it, building out the back where we've put the four-wheel camper, the Project M in there. But I think just getting to use it in stock form is important for him. And that way he can figure out what he really wants. That truck's pretty capable. It's actually surprised me a couple times. We were out in Alabama Hills. I was like, oh, okay, that thing does all right. And building out the back of it you know, he's got some ideas, but he's kind of changed his mind a few times. And I think it's one of those situations where it's probably good to just get out and use it. And then like, oh, you know, maybe I don't need this kind of cabinet back here, or I don't want my fridge here, or, you know, I would really like to have a power outlet here. So we're gonna work through all that stuff. Here in the near future, probably in the next couple of months, we're going to start figuring out, you know, some kind of system in the back where he's got cabinets and storage that are permanent, and we're going to figure out power, but no rush. I want him to kind of continue to use it a little bit and kind of really figure out what he wants. But he loves it. He loves that Tacoma. It's a good little truck, I got to tell you. It's a gem of a find. So I'm excited to see what he does with that. Now let's talk about my son Devin's 2015 Jeep Wrangler wheelies. He loves that little two-door. It's a great little Jeep. It's his daily driver, and so we have to keep that in mind as we are building it out. And so far, he hasn't done much with it. He's been out using it. But we did just put some 33-inch mud terrains on there. If you remember, the original tires were cupped pretty bad, and so he was getting a lot of that vibration and noise when he was driving it. And so we put some new tires, a little bit bigger tire, but we wrapped them around the TerraFlex Nomad wheels, which look really good. And they have that automatic tire deflator on there, which is pretty slick. They're a great looking wheel, but it's not lifted, and it doesn't need it. I think the clearance is fine, but it just looks, to me, it looks like a little stout bulldog. You know, it's got these big beefy tires and it's got this low profile. Just looks cool. But we are going to lift it. Actually, there's lift kit components over on the wall and behind the camera there. We have a full TerraFlex lift kit that we're going to do, and we've had it for a few weeks now. Again, my schedule's been nuts, and he just started a new job, so things are a little busy. And we could have taken it to Shift Auto Works and just said, hey guys, install this for us, and they would have done it no problems. But I think this is an important thing for Devin to do, is to install this lift kit himself. Now I'm going to help him. We may get, you know, his brother to come in and help. I may ask a couple buddies to come over. We'll do like a lift kit party or something. I don't know. But I want Devin to be hands-on with that lift kit, because I want him to get to know the components. And that way, if something happens when he's out on the trail, he has an idea of what it could be. You know, I mean, understanding that, you know, this what a rattle or a knock might be. You know, if you installed that shock, or you installed that control arm or that track bar, knowing what to look for in maybe a loose bolt or whatever can be really valuable. And if you just have somebody else install the lift kit for you, you don't really get that hands-on familiarity with stuff. And so that's just something I want him to do. Look, I've done both. I've installed many lift kits, and there's been times where I'm just like, I don't have the time. I just need somebody else to get this lift kit installed. But this one we're going to do ourselves for sure, and so that's going to be really important. And he wants to go do some more solo camping quiet videos. I don't know if you saw the one that he did last month. It was pretty cool. It's like the ASMR style video. He really enjoyed doing that, and I want him to do what he's passionate about, and so he's going to go film, I think, some more of those. And so we're going to make sure his Jeep is sound and capable, and he's got everything he needs. So we do have winch and bumper, and you know, we'll make sure he has recovery gear, and he's got satellite emergency comms if he needs it, that kind of stuff. But he's going to do some more of that stuff. I got to tell you, the quiet solo filming by the river video that I did last year, where I didn't talk at all, which I know some of you thought was a little weird, was one of the most fun videos I've ever filmed. I really, really just enjoyed filming that. And so I may do a few more of those. There were some of you that really, really liked it, and there's some of you that I know you didn't care for it. But on a personal level, like, I just enjoyed filming it. Like, trying to tell a story without talking was really cool. And plus, I was camping in a really cool spot in the Sierra Nevada mountains, right there on a river, and it was just an amazing time. And so, anyway, I want to do more of that. But that's Devin. That's what he wants to do. So we're gonna work on that thing in the garage. He's gonna get out and camp solo with it. He'll camp with us as well, and we'll do some of that stuff together. So what about all the other vehicles that are not here anymore? Well, I get asked all the time about where's the XJ, which we haven't had for years, or where's the Gladiator, or how's the diesel doing, or how's the 4xe, or the Power Wagon, or did you get rid of the Bronco? And I think what I need to do is for the next Coffee One Take, we need to have a good discussion about all the vehicles that have come and gone from the TrailRecon garage and kind of why I got rid of them, would I buy them again? So that's a conversation I think we'll have here soon. But I wanted to give you guys a good update on what's going on now. I'm pretty excited. We've got a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do to get some of these vehicles up and running. But we still have a lot more trips coming up this year. I mean, we are just now into spring and summer, and so we're going to be traveling a lot. But so trying to manage doing all the trips and doing all the projects we got a lot on my plate, but that's all right. It's self-inflicted and I love it. So more videos to come, guys. I hope you are as excited as I am about the future of our vehicles. And if you have questions or comments, put them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.